everybody. This is Pastor Susan. Welcome to our final day this week as we've been leaving home, that we've been challenged to think about our spiritual journey or quest, how we can be awakened as we are making this journey to listen to the truths that God has for us. And this week has been a very, very interesting week as we are thinking about the God who calls us, who will be who God will be, who leads us not just for a profession of faith and the trust of a ticket to heaven, but has created us for good works in the midst of receiving the grace of God in our lives. And we've been looking at the gift of Sabbath as one of the ways in which we can live out that rhythm of our life, not just by doing good works in the world or good work in our careers, but also thinking about our relationship with God, with family, and the ways in which we are renewed by observing Sabbath rest in our lives. And this last day, I want to talk to you about the wisdom that comes through the power of delegation. And you may remember this story from Exodus. Moses is, number one, he is probably not working according to God's call of Sabbath rest because he has taken all of the responsibilities of leadership on his own shoulders, and he is getting burned out fast. Everybody's coming with their complaints to him. Think about this. Think about the thousands and thousands of people who are with him on this, and he is the only person who's dealing with the conflicts that are going to come, the needs that are definitely there, trying to listen to God in the midst of all of this. Well, I mean, life is becoming frenetic and he is done. But then Moses' father-in-law, you remember Jethro? Not from the Clampett family. Jethro, the Midian priest, who is the father of Zipporah, who is Moses' wife, and Jethro comes to visit, and he sees what's going on, and he sits down with Moses and has a very important conversation. So I want to read this passage to you. From Exodus chapter 18, we're going to be looking at verses 13 to 26. Let's listen to what happens here. Okay, so the next day, Moses sat as judge for the people, while the people stood around him from morning until evening. When Moses' father-in-law saw all that he was doing for the people, he said, "What is this that you are doing for the people? Why do you sit alone while all the people stand around you from morning until evening?" Well, Moses said to his father-in-law, "Because the people come to me to inquire of God. When they have a dispute, they come to me, and I decide between one person and another, and I make known to them the statutes and instructions of God." Moses' father-in-law said to him, "What you are doing is not good. You will surely wear yourself out, both you and these people with you, for the task is too heavy for you. You cannot do it alone. Now listen to me. I will give you wise counsel, and God will be with you. You should represent the people before God, and you should bring their cases before God. Teach them the statutes and instructions, and make known to them the way they are to go and the things they are to do. You should also look for able men among all the people who fear God, are trustworthy, hate dishonest gain. Set such people over them as officers over thousands and hundreds and fifties and tens. Let them sit as judges for the people at all times. Let them bring every important case to you, but decide every minor case themselves. So it will be easier for you, and they will bear the burden with you. If you do this, and God so commands you, then you will be able to endure, and all these people will go to their home in peace." So Moses listened to his father-in-law and did all that he had said. Moses chose able men from all Israel and appointed them as heads over the people, as officers over thousands, hundreds, fifties, and tens. and they judged the people at all times. Hard cases they brought to Moses, but any minor case they endured themselves. Then Moses let his father-in-law depart, and he went off to his own country. What a great story. What wise counsel. I need to hear this, and I don't have thousands, but let me tell you something. I have learned that I don't have the wisdom or the skill set to answer every single question. Someone came into my office this last week and was asking me a question, and I said, I really don't know the answer to that. Go to this person, and they will be able to respond to your question. It is not my responsibility as the lead pastor of this congregation to do everything. Although some people may think that may be the case, it is not. And so part of why we have elders, part of why we have other pastors, part of why we have other amazing church staff, teachers in the Discover Zone, leaders in the shower ministry, those who are doing the good work that God has called us to do. One of the reasons is because one person cannot do it all alone. Delegating and trusting and equipping. So Moses had to equip the people. That's part of my job as well, is to make sure that the people who are set over different ministries, they are being fully equipped, whether it's by another minister or elder or it's by me. It's my responsibility to make sure that happens. And when there are difficulties that arise, it's up to it. It is my responsibility to be involved in that. But it's not my responsibility to be involved in every single little thing, to have my finger in every single little pie, to be calling all of the shots. No, part of what I have to do, the most important thing that I have to do, is to be with God and to spend time with God in prayer and to teach the people. And so that's what I endeavor to do. But you as well have responsibilities in your life. And if you want to live a good and long and spirit-filled life, you will live this rhythm the same way. To recognize that you aren't God. And if you've taken on more responsibility than you should, you need to have some more time with God, because God will remind you of this wise counsel and hopefully help you to lead a life that is more in tune with God's special calling for you. May be so to you and to me today as we recognize our calling and as we trust those with whom God has placed in authority, and as we do our work to be equipped and to equip. In Jesus' name, amen and amen.